Hey Dino Dudes, what's going on? It's me, the Meteoraptor, and I am back with another movie review. Now, found footage horror movies seem to be all the rage these days. Sure, back in 1999 with the release of the Blair Witch Project, which many will argue was the very first found footage movie, it didn't seem all that big. It just seemed like a new way to make a movie. And sure, Blair Witch Project, I will give it credit, is a very, very well done horror movie. In fact, some might say one of the best horror movies ever made. It wasn't until 8 years later, with the release of Paranormal Activity, that people realized they could do something with this. It was cheap, it was quick, and it was an easy way to make a horror movie. And Paranormal Activity made a lot of money. And a lot of sequels. But during that, we have gotten many, and I mean many, other found footage horror movies. With stuff like Grave Encounters 1 and 2, VHS, VHS 2, VHS Viral, Chernobyl Diaries, and many other horror movies which like to use this found footage tactic. Now, while a lot of them tend to be from a camera point of view, the movie I'm going to look at today came out in 2015 and had a very unique idea. First off, that movie is Unfriended. Yes, guys, Unfriended. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you aren't totally aware what this movie even is. You may have seen one or two of those ads, but I'm betting not too many of you actually saw this movie. Yeah, I'm here now to talk about this movie. So, pretty much the story, it's kind of a basic horror story. You know, we got 5 friends who are all hanging out on Skype, which I'm kind of confused as to how Skype gave permission to make this horror movie using their website. And this isn't like just some student-made film. This thing is like made by Universal. Anyhow, so they're all just kind of hanging out a year after one of their friends, Laura Barnes, committed suicide due to a video that was put up humiliating her. Now, the thing is, all 5 of them had something to do with it. Anyhow, but all of a sudden, another Skype account shows up, and apparently, it's Laura Burns. Laura Burns. So they're kind of like, wait, what's going on, man? This can't be real. This must be some faker. And they start trying everything to try and get her off. All of a sudden, man, do things get weird. People start dying all over the place. And it's a race against time to try and figure out who posted the video and who should take the blame, because whoever posted the video will be the one to die. However, at the same time, they know all of her secrets, and she knows all of theirs. That's all I'm gonna say. So our characters, we got our basic, we got the main horror cliches. We got the dumb blonde, we got the stoner, we got the jock, we got the jerk, we got the good girl. And, as you might think, oh great, they're all just cardboard cutouts of what all horror movies are these days. And you know what? That's true. But they were still kind of likable. I found myself enjoying a few of them, and a few of them I hated, and I was totally happy when they died. Quick spoiler here, I'm going to spoil the ending. Everyone dies. But frankly, by the end, this is actually what was really good about the writing. You did not want anybody to live by the end. What they did was unbelievable. This is one of the few horror movies I have seen in a long time that made you actually root for the bad guy. And at first you're thinking, oh no, why is she doing this? And yeah, I'm not going to say suicide's a good thing. I think it's a horrible thing. I think cyberbullying is a terrible thing. But that's not my point of this video. By the end of the movie, with all their secrets revealed, you actually don't care if they live or die. In fact, you hope that most of them pay for what they did. And that's what kind of made the writing so well. Our characters are pretty basic in terms of attitude and personality, but they each have a secret. One tiny little secret which can either make or break this. And actually the movie is really good at constantly throwing out more twists and turns to keep you guessing at what's really going on. Which a lot of horror movies these days, they can't do. It's just, oh look, boobs. Oh look, blood. Oh look, this is who the killer was. Oh look, gratuitous sequel hook. And best of all, this thing didn't end on a sequel hook, which I was so thankful for, because I think it stood fine on its own as just one movie. Anyhow, I'm gonna move on. Acting. Okay, I don't know any of the actors in this movie, but you know what? Bless them. They tried their hardest with what they were given to try and make this movie work. And they totally succeeded. You know, the acting isn't great, it's not going to win them awards, but you know what? If any of them ever show up in other movies, I would have no problem with it. You know what? If I had a chance, like, just to go out at Tim Hortons or Starbucks and just kind of talk with them, I wouldn't mind. You know, they seem like nice people. Their acting skills were really good. And the acting is actually a surprisingly strong part of this movie, considering the fact that I'm pretty sure, like, maybe 40, like 50 or 70% of this whole movie is just improvised. And it really worked. Now, some parts clearly seem scripted, and some parts clearly seem like they knew what they were, like it was rehearsed. But there are certain parts when they could either be scripted or it's totally improv. You can't tell. And it's far better than a lot of found footage movies we get nowadays. I'm looking at you, Paranormal Activity. Okay. Special effects. This movie had a $1 million budget. They did a good job with what they had. In fact, I think that's one reason why they chose to do this on Skype, which I will talk about in a second, is because since they only had $1 million, they didn't have that much to work with. I know what you're saying, oh come on dude, some movies have even less than that and they can do better than this. Well, I'm talking about a found footage horror movie. You know what, I think for what they did a darn good job. There was no music whatsoever in this movie aside from like one or two songs. Oh yeah, there's two songs called How You Lie, Lie, Lie and I Hurt Too, which are the main songs I remember from this movie, and only thanks to IMDb. Anyhow, and they play at really ominous times when the killer is trying to tell them something, and you never see the killer. That was another thing I thought was good about this movie. Aside from a hairy hand at the end, but then again, that's kind of a spoiler, but whatever. So, this thing doesn't require a scary soundtrack, and it does have, like, its fair share of just, like, sudden sound effects and stuff, which are made louder to be scarier, and I think it worked. Camera work? Some people are probably going to hate this movie just for the camera work, because this whole thing, and I mean the whole thing, is filmed on Skype. And I think, actually, I'm glad it's only that short, because, you know, even I kind of thought, like, this is kind of weird, staring at a Skype conversation for almost an hour and a half, but you know what, I'm glad they did what they did with it. So, can I recommend Unfriended in the end? Yes. Not just as a horror movie. This is going to sound kind of strange, but just hear me out. This movie has a very strong anti-cyberbullying message. And a lot of you are thinking, dude, have you lost your mind? Maybe, but just hear me out. The whole plot of this movie revolves around the fact that a group of teenagers made fun and humiliated... Oh, my phone just went off. Made fun and humiliated of another girl online to the point that she killed herself. And sure, that happens all the time, and I'm pretty sure the people that end up killing themselves, and you know what? If you know someone who's killed themselves, I am so sorry for you, man. I don't know what that pain is like. But she comes back looking for revenge, and this whole thing could have been avoided if they didn't make fun of her in the first place. I know most of you are going, dude, you are stretching it so far. And you know what? So what if I am? It does have I found a good message in this movie. And you know what? That aside, it's a decent horror movie. You know, it's not the Blair Witch Project, it's not Cloverfield, it's not Grave Encounters 2, but it's certainly up there. It's not like the VHS trilogy. It's not one of these fantastic, terrifying, because VH2 scared the living crap out of me, man. It's not one of those kinds of movies. It's a good horror movie that stands on its own, and I'm glad there will not be a sequel. And this film had a $1 million budget. You know how much it made in the box office? $45 million. So at least people went to see it. And I can tell you this, when this thing comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, I'm going to buy a copy, because you know what? I want to support these actors. If buying a Blu-ray might get them another job, because people will have noticed this movie, I'm totally down for it. I want to help them. I think they were great actors. And ultimately, I can give this film... You know what? If I'm being totally gracious, 3 raptor claws out of 4. And that's just from being, like, totally gracious. And I'm looking past any of the flaws or any of the pacing issues, which really I didn't feel like talking about because there weren't that many. It's just they are there though. If I was to look past everything, yeah, 3 raptor claws out of 4. So guys, go check this movie out. I found it fairly enjoyable. And I think you guys might enjoy it too if you like found footage horror movies. Quick update here. The next few episodes, I'm changing everything. I'm changing the theme song. I'm changing the title. I'm still the Meteor Raptor. I'm staying on this channel, but there might be some stuff changing around. I'm just warning you guys now. But until next time, Dino Dudes, this is the Meteor Raptor saying keep cool, and I will see you guys around. Later.